הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Back in the 1970s, the Hebrew home looked nothing like it looks today. It was much smaller, and we had one nursing home and one low-income apartment house.
When I first came to Revit's house, we were a community with a very small staff. We had mostly part-time staff. We didn't have transportation. And presently, we have our own bus. We have full-time activities people, a huge wellness program, full-time social worker. So we have a huge staff that has really enhanced the quality of life for all our residents.
It really has evolved. You know, we have more buildings, we have more residents, we have more activities, we have beautiful places for them to live, and it's been amazing to kind of watch it.
We had an expression here a while ago that I'd like to take a little credit for, that this isn't your old Bubby's Hebrew home, right? It's kind of morphed and changed, and sort of that whole rebranding package was fascinating on a bunch of different levels. It was really interesting to me because it was part of a strategic plan. It didn't just happen.
I think the rebranding was terrifically important because it conveys more accurately to the community what it is that we do here. People knew us as the Hebrew home, and that had a connotation to it that was very narrow and not really reflective of the full array of services we provide.
We've been so blessed to have a very robust, comprehensive community support for generations. And there's been no family that's been a better leader and more out in front than the Smith family. The Smith family has meant so much to our organization and therefore so much to the community and to the residents we serve.
The fact that we are Charles E. Smith Life Communities, named arguably for the greatest Jewish hero in the greater Washington area, and Charles E. Smith, a wonderfully giving and active individual who devoted the last third of his life to philanthropy, I think is key and says a great deal.
The Jewish Community Center complex, which opened in 1969, was a dream of my grandfather's. His first position in the orb of Jewish charities was president of the Hebrew Home. He was elected in 1959. He served one term, 3 years, and during that time, my builder-developer grandfather learned how to tend and care for older people. So that became the metaphor for the rest of his life.
It is just a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to hold ourselves out as the Charles E. Smith Life Communities, because there is an instant recognition in everybody who encounters us that if we're the Charles E. Smith Life Communities, we're doing something really important and we're doing it well.
The nice thing about our rebranding and our growth as a system into Charles E. Smith Life Communities is that as we are becoming bigger, as we're becoming more sophisticated, as we're developing more services, a lot of things are changing. But what is not changing, I think, is our base mission and our values. And that is what will persevere, I think, into the future and be our strength in the future as it has been in our past.
The 106-year legacy of who we are is very well known across the country. And the size of the campus, the diversity of the services, and those we serve have a great reputation. And so I absolutely knew some about Charles E. Smith Life Communities before I even stepped on campus.
One of the proud things for me about this organization is that we are constantly looking to move forward. We're constantly looking to grow, looking to see how is this industry changing, trying to stay a step ahead of that, so that we can change with that and be ahead of the game.
The demographics of our residents has changed dramatically. Due to the subsidies and the way that our building is structured now, things have changed. We have somewhat of a younger population from very varied ethnic groups, so we're a much more integrated community.
As a South Asian family, there are one or two of them I see in the Smith-Kogart building, and I think on behalf of all of them, we just want to thank the Hebrew Home for the opportunity to be here and to be cared for and loved, and for the cleanliness that is impeccable.
It's nice. It was 2 hours before I came here, and this is no comparison the way you are treated and the way you get things done. It's a very, very nice place.
The safety element here is amazing. Everybody knows her, she knows everybody, she has access to help if she needs it.
I like the staff. When they have to take care of you, they do it in a way that it's nice, they don't push it, and I think they're good.
Everybody that comes to the facility is not just a patient, it's a person. We treat them as person, we respect their rights, and we are open, we communicate with them, and we listen to them, and we work with them and their family so that we all aim towards the same common goal.
There's really a full continuum of care that exists here, from long-term care to assisted living to the wonderful services that are being provided at the Cohen-Rosen House. And it's the rebranding that I think really allows us to market all of those services under one roof.
When you look at this community and this continuum of care, we've really evolved into not just a nursing facility, but one of the leaders in geriatric care up and down the East Coast and arguably in the country.
We are the third largest single-site operator of elder care services in the country. So it's something that we should really be proud of. It's a terrific organization.
The legacy of Charles E. Smith in this community. He may have been small in stature, but he was a John Wayne. He was bigger than life.
There's always a danger in 20 years or 25 years. They'll see the name Charles E. Smith, but people won't know there was a person. That was one of the reasons why the home did the permanent exhibit about him in the boardroom, to give him some humanity and some dimension.
Well, I happen to have met Charles E. Smith. He was the most generous person I've ever met, and he concentrated his efforts to help the Jewish community. His children have subsequently broadened their generosity.
I think Papa Charlie should be remembered as a humanist and not as a philanthropist. When you think of a philanthropist, you think of, somebody just writing checks. Certainly he wrote checks, but there was depth and thought and vision behind all of it. And he was very involved in whatever he was a part of. He always wanted things to be first class.
The future means to me that we are poised to launch a new generation of elderly service to the community, service to our residents, to our families, that can only be bigger, better, and brighter.